After the embarrassment that was Dragon Ball Evolution, the live action film that we all tried to forget, in 2013, Dragon Ball will see its resurrection. And the title of this video, I wanted to talk about if Dragon Ball Super really deserved the hate. So before we get into this, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's go ahead and dive into this. So my relationship with Dragon Ball Super is kind of a strange one. I'm not going to really dive into the power levels or the power scaling or anything like that. I'm going to jump more into the story, and I'm going to see, does Dragon Ball Super really deserve the hate? I'm going to try to talk about that real quick. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. So in about 2015, we will see Dragon Ball Super make his debut, and it started off with the Battle of Gods arc. Now, I did have a problem with this because this is kind of a running theme in the Dragon Ball series where they kind of bring back familiar elements in the series. So with Battle of Gods, the Resurrection Era, the first two arcs of the show are kind of a repeat of the two movies that came out before, which I kind of find kind of hilarious because I believe the manga sort of skips over this or skips over the Resurrection F part. So in the anime, I'm trying to figure out why they even bothered to do the Resurrection F arc anyway. And besides that, with the next arc after that, I probably should give my overall rating of the first two arcs. I'm gonna bunch them together. I'm gonna say they're both about a 5.6 out of 10. I really don't care too much about number scores. I'm just gonna jump into that real quick. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the next arc where Dragon Ball Super really begins. Universe 6 with Universe 7. When it comes to this arc right here, it's kind of strange to talk about it because on one end I like it, and the other end I don't. But to be honest with you, I enjoyed this arc more before the Tournament of Power arc had happened because characters such as Hit, Kaba, they didn't really get much to do afterwards. And that's because Dragon Ball Super suffers from what I like to call poor expectations. Hit was one of my favorite characters when he came out. And I remember so many people in Dragon Ball Xenoverse played as Hit because how cool he was, his time stepping powers, like his Jotaro powers. But let me know if y'all guys want me to talk about more media, more anime on this channel because I got a lot to talk about. But when it comes to Universe 6 versus Universe 7, the best thing I like about that arc was Goku's Kaioken times 20, him going crazy on hits. Besides that, there's not really much to talk about. I don't really care about Champa, nor do I really care about Vados or Universe 6 because of how poorly written the Tournament of Power was. Now, here comes the most controversial arc, Goku Black. And when I tell you that I am a number one hater when it comes to Goku Black, I cannot stand this character. I see so many people talking about how this character is one of the best written characters of all time. I'm talking about one of the best fictional written characters of all time. Next to Madara, next to Aizen. I'm like, Goku Black's whole plan was so contradictionary. I don't even know if that's even a word, but his plan was so bad. The ending, the whole Zero Reverse Mortal plan, that was a failure. Goku Black's whole thing with him being the monster stole his whole body. I mean, we all saw that coming a mile away. And with Zeno, the Omni King saving the universe, at the end, that had to be one of the most ass pull things that ever happened. And Goku Black overall, But the whole thing that happened with the universal reset, the multiple timelines, was a headache. And I do not like that arc. Also, the retcon, that's what I call a retcon, because they could have just used Gogeta in that situation. But instead, they went with Vegito. And I know a lot of people like to say it isn't really a retcon, the whole Patara earrings being a whole 1 hour time limit. But with that, I gotta say it's a retcon because of the original source material in Z, when Toriyama had wrote, it was supposed to be permanent. Now, they could have used the Dragon Balls to take themselves out the fusion, to have them unfused, but instead they didn't do that. And that's one thing about Super I don't like. The constant retcons and the constant changes in the story and Toyotaro's bad writing and Toei Animation's need to sell more merchandise over telling a good story. And yes, in the original Z, they sold a lot of merchandise too. However, we cared about the stories and especially the characters, which I'll jump into later. Now, afterwards, I'm just going to go and jump into the Term of the Power arc. Frieza, number 17, has showed up. I don't know where number 17 has been this entire time. Tien, a lot of people talk about how they ruined his character, even though Tien's character was ruined when Dragon Ball Z started. Roshi, if anybody cares about him. I know people a lot of want to see Majin Buu, but Frieza took his place, which I don't mind. If anything, I prefer Frieza over Majin Buu. But besides that, we gotta jump into the Tournament of Power. Now, with the Tournament of Power arc, oh boy, when I tell you I stopped out about 7 episodes in, it was a pain to get through. And I mean, there were so many characters, so many missed potentials. I don't really care too much about Jiren. He's cool, but that's about all I gotta say about him. As for the other Pride Troopers, nobody really cares about them. Basically, in terms of power, it was just Jiren and Goku. That was it. And the Ultra Instinct thing that happened, I like the first Ultra Instinct form, the second one not so much. Now, if they would have kept the first Ultra Instinct form, stuck with that throughout the entire story arc, then I wouldn't have too much problems. But the problem is that these characters transform too quickly, and the fact that we don't get enough time for to flesh out these other characters that they debut, and that's the overall issue I got with Super. The pacing, the fan hype, or the hype period for the show, is something that I didn't really. I was trying to connect with the show. I was trying to look at this show as a sequel to Z. A lot of people say that Super is fan fiction, and in all honesty, while I don't think this show is fan fiction material, I don't think Dragon Ball Super is a worthy sequel to Dragon Ball Z. There's too many inconsistencies, too many plot holes, and yes, Z has some plot holes too, but the charm is gone. I could talk about the art direction. I could talk about how I don't like certain other decisions they made, but I will jump into that in the next video. But besides that, this is part one. Let me know what y'all think about Dragon Ball Super with its plot progression and its storytelling. But anyway, this is me signing out.